Welcome to General English class for 2nd BA 4th semester. This is session number 30. In this session, we are going to see about the fond memories and lack of opportunities for women in the armed forces. I am Mercy Victoria, Assistant Professor of English, Government First Grade College, Kanakpura. This is a lesson about Sandhya Suri, an interview with Sandhya Suri to thebetterindia.com. Sandhya Suri was the first woman officer to serve in the warship. Through this interview, she talks about her aspiration, the challenges she had faced, and the fond memories she had had during her tenure as a Navy officer. Before we move into the session, let's have a quick recap on the previous sessions. In the previous session, we saw how Sandhya Suri always had a fascination to join armed forces even before women were, um, you know, inducted in the armed forces. It could be because of the fascination for her uniform, but when she got the call, she was just 22 years old. She was pursuing her PG in English literature and was also preparing for IPS. She readily agreed or decided to join Navy, and she was quite happy and excited. In fact, her parents were quite encouraging, especially her father, who was always there supporting her in her aspiration. Mother was little apprehensive. She was quite scared to send her for Navy. One because she did not have she was quite scared how she's going to face the challenges, and two because she was the first girl from her family to join the armed forces. There were quite a lot of challenges when she was like joined the navy. The initial challenges was first one was fitness was quite mandatory as far as armed forces is concerned, but as we see, Sandhya Suri was a sports person. She used to play basketball for the state team, and as a result she used to train for 4 to 5 hours per day. So that was not a problem for her, and she had the stamina and strength to cope with the challenges. So resilience was something which was necessary for the armed forces officers. So resilience is nothing but the capacity to overcome the difficulty and the flexibility or the elasticity. So she was quite flexible in doing all the challenges. One of the most important part of her uh, being a Navy officer was she had the privilege of serving in the warship. According to Sandhya Suri, she considers herself as fortunate few to be to be on board of the warship. We also see how the board of armed forces had to uh, take a major decision to include women in the warship. Till then, they were not included, and it was a male dominated area, and the men in the warship also was not very comfortable working with women. And the biggest challenges what Sandhya Suri faced was that she had to prove again and again in her professional life to as a woman officer, as an officer in uniform rather than a woman officer. So those men folk, where they were not comfortable, according to them, women in the warship means they had to sacrifice their space. So separate space had to be allotted for women in the warship for their basic facilities like cabin or a bathroom. So as a result, men felt that there was a privilege, that was a extra privilege which was given for the women. But Sandhya Suri, according to Sandhya Suri, these privileges were not asked by them, but it was decided by the board. So she advises the young aspirants that in order to serve the armed forces, if there is no privilege given, she's advising them not to crib or complain, because serving the armed forces itself or joining the navy itself was the greatest privilege given to them. As a result, they shouldn't be cribbing or complaining about the privileges not being given for the women in the board. And she also feels that there is an inequality which are prevalent in the armed forces, especially in the navy. She feels that the women, gentlemen have to undergo 1 year training, or they have to serve in the warship for the first promotion or for promotion. So she feels that such a kind of thing is not applicable for women. So she also insists that the laws can be modified irrespective of gender. It should be objective rather than subjective. Once the women are allowed to serve in the warship, they can also be eligible for the promotion. So she feels that there shouldn't be an gender inequality in the navy. And she also says that young women, when they are joining the armed forces, not to expect any privileges, because the main motive of joining the armed forces is to serve for the nation, and that itself is the biggest privilege given to them. If they are ready to complain or crib about the privileges not given to them, it is better not to join at all. And we also find the desire and the passion for her even now to join. When asked whether she'll be ready to join navy again, given a chance again, she says that even at the age of 60 she'll be ready to join navy and serve for the nation. So as a result, we see Sandhya Suri as a person who has a tremendous love for the nation. So, in this particular session, we are going to see about some of her most unforgettable memories of being a Navy officer. She gives two incidents where she could not forget in her life. So, one is, as I told you, in the warship. Yes, in this particular session, we will see what were the some of the chores which she had to do, or what were some of the responsibilities she has to undergo or take up when she was in the warship. So, naturally, being in warship was one of the best part of her being a navy officer. In the warship, posting in the warship was the best in the career. So, according to Sandhya Suri, posting in the warship was the best in her career because very few women were fortunate to serve in the warship. So, she was the first woman and ever remembered in her in today's world. So, uh, being given an opportunity to serve in the warship, she made use of every little thing I learned and got trained for. So she made use of every opportunity whatever was given in the particular tenure. So things that was done during the worship, there were a lot of things which she had to do during on board of worship. One, she had to paint the ship, she had to cook for the crew, resolve the crisis, and been together. She had to be with the men in the worship and work with them and take into confidence, and she had to do whatever is being assigned to her. So one was to paint the ship. Two, she cannot complain that it is a difficult task, and she also had to cook for the entire crew. Crew means the batch, okay, people who are working with her in the warship, and resolve the crisis whenever there was a problem or difficulty situation. She had to plan and come with a solution, and they have been together as a team. So it was a total teamwork, and that was really unforgettable in her life. And she also faced a lot of difficult situation during crisis. When men were like not able to face the situation, she was more balanced during emergencies. When there was an emergency situation, when she had to take a decision, when compared to other people among their team, she was more balanced and calm and quiet during tough situation than others. So we find a very matured person here, Sandhya Suri as a mature person here. And she says that she did not do all these things in the expecting an award or a reward, but for the team and the crew. So all these difficulties or the challenges, the opportunities which was given by to her, she had taken it up as a as a privilege. And she says that she has not done all these things in expecting an award or a reward, but only for the team and to serve the nation. So we see a wonderful personality here, One, she was ready. She never cribbed. And as we saw in the previous session, she has advised young women not to crib or complain about the challenges of the difficult situation. Here, when there is a difficult situation, she immediately acted upon the situation, one with the person, one with the team, one with the crew, and she was part of the situation, part of the difficulties, and as a result, she was more matured, and as a result, she learned a lot of things from that particular situation. And all these things she did not do in expecting an award or a reward or a recognition, but for the team. She put her team before her, and as a team, they worked together and enjoyed every bit of it. Second important unforgettable moment of her life as a naval officer was that posting in Mumbai. So we saw there were so many training sessions, and after which she got posted in Mumbai also. So she was given a task of managing the entire seating. There was this international fleet review program in February 2001. This is the greatest event in the Navy. It happens, once in 2 years. So the Navy officers from all over the world will come attend the program, and it is a big event in the Navy. So in 2001 February, there was this International Fleet Review meeting or event in Mumbai. She was posted in Mumbai, and she was given the task of managing the entire seating situation. So she had to take care where the delegates have to be seated, where the press and the politicians and all the important VVIPs have to be, seated. And she had to also take care of the security, which is a big task. She had to be very careful in doing all these things. An international fleet review is the greatest event conducted by Indian Navy to showcase the maritime capabilities to the foreign navies participating in the review. So what is this international fleet review is about? It is the greatest event in Navy, and it is to showcase the naval capabilities of a nation to the foreign delegates. So this is like similar to the Republic Day parade, wherein the army shows its power or the strength, right? So we see a lot of weapons being displayed, and this particular International Fleet Review is such an event wherein we show our Navy strength to the other nations who are participating in the particular program. So here, one, there shouldn't be any disturbance. Two, she had to plan each and everything, scrutinize each and everything, especially security is concerned. And catering plan for the International Fleet Review in February 2001. So Sandhya Suri was given a task of managing the seating arrangement, security, and catering, food. So she had to satisfy the palates of each and every one. So there shouldn't be a mismatch or some disturbance in whatever is being done. So this is the greatest challenge given to her. And in the family side, in the personal friend, she's got a daughter who was just 7 months old. And during this situation, how difficult it would be for a career woman to take care of the family and the career. But she was given a challenge, and she took it in her hand. And because of the support from her family, her daughter was taken care by her mother-in-law or by her husband, and she gave her full support to the task which was lying ahead of her. So she worked tirelessly day and night, and absolutely satisfying to see through. So she had to put in a lot of work and hard work and long hours of hard work to get this international fleets review a success. So that was really one of the most memorable moment in her life as a Navy officer. So this is not an easy feat. Again, here we see Sandhya Suri being so disciplined, well planned, and taking care of each and everything as a mother, as a Navy officer, and taking the challenge in her hands, and making it through in spite of her, without considering the strain and the hard work she had to put in. But she took it as a challenge and got it, worked tirelessly and got it and made it a great success. Next comes as such a woman, such a powerful woman, strong woman. We might wonder why did she ever quit the navy, right? So she has everything. She has had everything: the challenges, the strength, the experience, everything she had. But then later she had to quit the navy. It was a tough decision. So now in this particular session, we'll see how it was very tough and what made her to leave the job or leave Navy. After some point of time, she felt there was nothing. I mean, there was no growth or development. She felt stagnant. There was nothing, no challenges faced or no improvement or development in her career. She wanted to be, always wanted to be an instructor. She wanted to be a teacher to instruct the fellow or young aspirants. She was also a certified diver. She was a wonderful diver and she wanted to be a certified diver. And she also requested for a transfer to SSP. SSP is Service Selection Board or Naval Intern. It's support planning and operation. She wanted some kind of change in her career, so she had requested the board for a change. So she wanted either to be an instructor or a certified diver, or transfer to SSB or Naval Intel so that she can work in the administration. But all these requests were denied. It was rejected. So they were not ready to give any of these things which was asked by Sandhya Suri. Instead, they asked for whether she would like to continue. She would like for an extension. So before this, we have to know what is an extension or how many years can women work in the Navy. According to Navy rules, after 10 years, women have to put in 14 years, a maximum 14 years they have to serve in the Navy. After 10 years, they will have a option whether to get an extension or quit. They will be, they can, they are free to quit or they can take an extension. So after 10 years, she had asked for a change of career, or she had given few choices whether to be an instructor or a diver or a SS or transfer to SSB or naval intel. All these requests were rejected. Instead, the board asked whether she would love to have an extension. And at that time, they never had decided to include women on board in the higher up or in the warship. So there is no point in asking to be a part of a board. And there was not they did not have a permanent commission also. What is permanent commission? Here, as I told you, there are discriminations, gender discrimination, especially in Navy. Men are requested or men have to work in the warship at least for 1 year for the promotion, whereas women were not allowed. Here, after serving for 14 years, men will get the privilege of permanent commission. What do you mean by permanent commission? They will be in service till retirement, whereas women do not have that privilege or rule. Women have to quit after 14 years and there is no permanent commission. So, having this in mind, there is no extension. Either she can extend her tenure or whatever she had requested for the change in the career was rejected and there was no permanent commission. So, everywhere there was problems for her. She felt all the doors were closed. Permanent commission, service till retirement, women were allowed to serve for 14 years unlike their male counterparts. So, as I told you, permanent commission is where men get to serve till their retirement, whereas women, even though they were on par with men, uh, their male counterparts, they will not be allowed to serve till retirement. They have to quit after 14 years. It is a major struggle for women because they have spent their years in the army or armed forces, whereas they will not get any privilege after that. So they have given their whole and soul with entire thing they did. They have dedicated themselves for the sake of the nation, end of the day, they will not be given permanent commission. So it was a great struggle for women. So it is then she decided to quit. It was a tough decision though, because she had the passion to work for the nation, to serve for the nation. She took all the challenges, and she really enjoyed her tenure as a naval officer. When asked how difficult it was, she says that she still misses the uniform, and but there is always a sense of gratitude. She feels grateful for having given an opportunity to face the challenges, for all the challenges she has faced, all the difficulties she has had in her life, because what she is now, is all because of the experience she has had in the Navy. So her life mantra is to live life. It is, we have one life and live to the fullest and make it worthwhile. The very reason why she joined the armed forces was to make her life worthy. She wanted to do something worthy in her life, and she had done that. And she's so grateful for all the opportunities given to her during her tenure as a Navy officer. Even though it was a tough decision to quit, she still misses her uniform, and she is also ready to join Navy again, given an opportunity, even at the age of 60. So we find a woman of perseverance, strength, and an inspiration. Sandhya Suri was a woman who aspired to be you know who aspired to be a, a woman of good personality. She did not shy away the challenges given to her. She took it in hand. She prepared herself. She always believed in whatever challenges been given me as an opportunity. She took the challenges as an opportunity and worked for it. And that's how we see from the two fond memories she has narrated, right? And then the decision to quit also was not an easy task for her. She tried her level best, and we also feel a sense of you know something which she feels bad that women are not given equal opportunity like their male counterparts. So from this session we understood about the fond memories of Sandhya Suri. One, posting in the worship, where she had to be with the team, work with the team, do all the tasks like cleaning the, cooking for the crew, and painting the ship and other logistics, everything. And during crisis, she had to plan and taken up the responsibility. And she also feels that she was more balanced than her counterparts or than her team members. And she did all these things and enjoyed every bit of it. And she did all these things not expecting an award or a reward, but for the sake of the nation. And then second unforgettable memory is the responsibility of International Fleet Review 2001 in Mumbai, where she was responsible for the security, catering, and seating arrangement. And she worked tirelessly to make it a grand success. Next was her decision to quit the Navy, and how her mindset was during giving up the job. She tried her level best. She felt stagnant. She felt there was no development, and she tried all other ways. She wanted to become a instructor or a diver, or to be transferred to SSB or Naval Intel. But all her requests were rejected, and as a result, there was no permanent commission also. So all the opportunities were rejected, or whatever was available even remained closed. So she had to take a decision, and she had to quit. She From her talk, we could feel the pain she had while taking the decision, but she's also proud, and she also feels grateful for the opportunities given, because what she is now is all because of the experiences and the challenges she had faced during her tenure as a naval officer. And we also see this is a reflection of the problems faced by women in the armed forces. It was not only Sandhya Suri, but all the women in the armed forces go through the same pain and the pressure by Sandhya Suri. Yes, I hope you all understand the the personality or the found memories what Sandhya Suri had during her tenure as a Navy officer. Let us continue with the lesson in the next class. Thank you.